I'm going to just get started, and then if people are jumping in, they can watch the recording. But thank you all so much for spending your evening with me. My name is Ray. I work on the admissions team here, and I will be your host today. This is our Thinking About a Tech Career Start Here webinar. I'm super casual today. I don't want to take up too much of your time. We do have a slide deck with a ton of good information, but most importantly, I am here to answer any and all of your questions. So if you have questions about something that you hear in the presentation today or Flatiron School in general, feel free to pop them in the chat box at any point. The presentation itself should take maybe 25 minutes, and then I'll take as much time as we need to cover all of the questions at the end. Let me make myself smaller so you can see the presentation. This is me. I'm Ray. I work out of Denver, Colorado. It is so dark. It's only 6 p.m. I can't believe it. So excuse the lighting. But anyways, I'm the admissions lead for our software engineering program specifically. I've been with Flatiron School for like 2.5 years at this point. And if you are curious, I'm an avid foodie, a road tripper, and also a furniture collector. That's a little bit about me. This is our agenda for the day. We're going to talk a little bit about each of the programs that we offer, talk a little bit about the admissions process, career services, touch on our jobs report, open Q&A, and then wrap up with some next steps. So without further ado, let's jump right in. We will start with Flatiron School's mission statement, which is to enable the pursuit of a better life through education. Our goal is to set you up for a successful future in your new career path. We consider this to be a career-changing course, and we want to make your transition into the tech industry a smooth one. So we'll dive into what that looks like throughout the rest of the presentation. This is a brief history of Flatiron School. So we were founded in 2012 in New York City by Adam and Avi. They combine Adam's passion for education with Avi's experience in code to create and deliver the Flatiron School curriculum. We have 8 campus locations in Austin, Chicago, Denver, Houston, New York City, San Francisco, Seattle, and DC. And our sister school, Secure Set Academy, also operates in Colorado Springs and in Denver. And then lastly, our graduates are able to launch careers in the tech industry with impressive starting salaries, and in most cases, make a full career transition in less than a year. This is just some of the employers that our grads have been hired on with. You'll see everything from banks to insurance companies and some pretty prestigious company names as well. I think it also just shows like how much we depend on technology for our day-to-day business, and that most companies operating a website or an app rely on a software engineer to make that happen. Response to COVID. So as I'm sure we all know by now, our campuses have been closed and operating remotely since March of 2020. But we're excited to share that we will be, and we actually have reopened select campuses. So campus reopening is happening in phases. The first phase is starting by opening select campuses as a place to like connect with fellow students, utilize as a study space, and attend in-person events. The campuses that are open at that capacity right now are Denver, Colorado Springs, Chicago, Austin, and New York City. Another really exciting thing is we're starting to offer in-person cohorts, full-time cohorts on our New York City campus and also our Denver campus. Those two, Denver and New York City, are the only campuses that have in-person instruction for now. All of the rest of the campuses are TBD, but we have a ton of info on our like reopening plan, as well as some like estimated dates for other campuses and their reopening timeline on our website. If you go to flatironschool.com/campus experience. But very exciting for our in-person cohorts in Denver and also in New York City. We have a start date in Denver, February 21st for our software engineering program. And then in New York City, a start date on January 31st, as well as February 21st. Okay, so we're going to talk a lot about the 5 disciplines or the 4 disciplines that we offer in the next couple of slides, but I wanted to start by explaining our 2 learning paces, which are live and flex. So basically, everybody's schedule is so different. Some students choose to quit their jobs and take a fully immersive program, while others are working full-time or part-time, or they have a family, and they want to take a program on their off hours. So we offer the same curriculum at a variety of paces so that you can choose the best fit for you. So our live program is the quickest and also the most intense pace option. Students are working 9 hours a day at minimum, attending live lectures, working on group activities, and solo project building throughout the day. One very important note is that it is impossible to work at all and take a live program. There's just simply not enough hours in the day. And so our live program, you're looking at about a 60-hour weekly commitment for all disciplines that we offer. If that's not feasible, that's okay, because we have a flex program and it's the exact same curriculum, the exact same projects, the same career services, but you're able to set your own schedule. You'll have an instructor and technical coaches supporting you throughout the program. With the Flex program, there's a mix of recorded lectures and also optional live lectures and study sessions and open office hours throughout as well. And like I said, career services support for both paces is exactly the same. You also don't have to know for sure which pace you're going to choose before applying to the program. Even if you're not quite sure, go ahead and submit an application, and your admissions rep is happy to have that conversation with you to figure out which pace is going to be the best fit for you. Okay, so let's talk about the disciplines that we offer. So starting with software engineering, which is definitely one of our most popular programs. Software engineering is the design, development, maintenance, testing, and evaluation of websites and computer software. We designed the software engineering program to give you the necessary expertise in both back and front end development, so that you will become a full stack web developer post-graduation. And some typical job titles we see our students land are software engineer and software developer. This is our software engineering curriculum. You learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript and React for the front end, Ruby and Rails for the back end. And then there's also some data structures and algorithms content for you to work on during the program and also post-graduation to help with technical interviews. You'll also have an outcome of 5 completed portfolio projects that you can showcase to employers following the program. And this is an example of a portfolio project completed by 2 Flatiron School students. It's called Words with Nerds. It's a fully responsive gaming app, or like word puzzle, built as a paired project during mod 3 of our 5-module course. Just to give you an idea of what you can expect to learn and create in the program. And also, pro tip, if you're interested in software engineering specifically, there are so many final capstone project walkthroughs on YouTube. So if you just search like Flatiron School capstone project or Flatiron School mod 5 project, a ton of our students like recorded themselves walking through, talking about how they built it. And there's a lot of really, really cool project examples. Admissions has some too. So if you're in the admissions process and you'd like to see some portfolio project examples, feel free to reach out and we're happy to send some your way. Cool. Moving right along to our data science program. So data science is a field that uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems to extract knowledge and insights from structured and unstructured data. Basically, you're analyzing data to solve problems and inform business decisions. You're telling a story with the data that you've compiled. In this program, it's important to note that the biggest learning curve is calculus and statistics. A strong math background and prior exposure in both areas is definitely preferred. And here's the data science curriculum. So you're learning everything from like Python to machine learning in our program. You'll also leave with an understanding of like how to discover new techniques as your career progresses. In the program, every 3 weeks, you'll be introduced to a new module that builds off of the learnings of the previous section. And so it's sort of like building blocks. And you will also have 5 portfolio projects in the data science program as well. Here is an example of a portfolio project from one of our data science students. She used the parameters of the Bechdel test to examine how women are represented in film and presented data-driven insights for end users with a dashboard that allows the users to explore the data that's most interesting to them. Creating dashboards from data is a very common practice that sorts big sets of data into a quick visual, whether it be a graph or a chart. It allows you to measure and assess data quickly and easily to perform in a more productive fashion. And then we have cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is the protection of computer systems from theft or damage to hardware, software, or data. Basically, it means that it protects systems from cyber attacks so that people can operate safely. We've recently partnered with Secure Set Academy to help transform cybersecurity education and enable people to pursue careers that they love. We'll jump into the details of the program that we offer in the next couple of slides. So this is our cyber engineering curriculum. In the course, there's 600 hours worth of curriculum, and you're learning advanced cybersecurity tools like Python, Wireshark, Linux, Metasploit, and you'll learn how to use them to defend against cyber criminals. 50% of this program is in the cyber range lab environment. So basically you're learning, like you learn something new, you put it into practice. You learn something else, you put it into practice, which is nice because it gives you like the practical know-how to jump right into your role as a cyber engineer post-graduation. And some common job titles for students who complete this program are security engineer, security analyst, penetration or pen tester, and security consultant. And then lastly, we have our newest discipline, which is product design. Product design uses design, research, and data to solve problems for a user's experience. Our product design grads will become product designers, UX or user experience designers, UX researchers, or interaction designers. This is a breakdown of our product design curriculum. So at the live pace, this course is 15 weeks, broken into 5 phases. Phases 1 and 2 teach you the fundamentals of UX, user experience, and UI, which stands for user interface processes. And then phases 3 and 4 give you real world experience through rigorous projects where you'll use the techniques that you learned in phases 1 and 2. And then in phase 5, you'll sort of pull together your body of work into a portfolio and prepare yourself for entry into the job market. I see some questions coming in, so I'll just pause and say, feel free if you have any questions, pop them in the chat box. We're about halfway through the presentation, and then I'll jump into any of your questions. Also, this is being recorded, and so you'll get a copy of the interview. If you missed something or you want to re-review the slides, you will have all of that in your emails tomorrow. Okay, but switching gears again to talk sort of about like your journey from prospective student to graduate here at Flatiron School. So for the purpose of this slide, you're the guy in the middle with your admissions rep, your lead instructor, your tech coaches, and your career coach, sort of like all present to support your success throughout the different stages of the program. So your admissions rep, someone like myself or someone on my team, will guide you through everything that you need up until your first day of class. That's when you'll meet your lead instructor. And our lead instructors are, software engineers, data scientists, cyber engineers, or product designers who just happen to love and prefer teaching. They'll give you everything that you need to know throughout the entire duration of the program. We also have technical coaches that are there for when you need extra support on the weekend or off hours. They are there to help you through your questions. And then lastly, to support your job search, you'll have a designated career coach who meets with you one-on-one to help you market yourself in the industry. This is a breakdown of our admissions process. So the first step that you'll see here is to submit a written application. From there, myself or one of my colleagues will reach out and get you scheduled for an admissions interview, which is generally a 20-minute conversation over Zoom or a phone call where we just get to know you. It's non-technical, no need to stress out about it. Just come prepared to talk about your background and why you're making this big career change. In the admissions interview, we will also help prepare you for the next step in the process, which is the admissions assessment. This is sort of like our technical interview hybrid. It's a critical thinking test designed to test your ability to think critically, and it is a requirement for admission. So then after you complete your admissions assessment, assuming you pass, you will be admitted into the program. And once admitted, you'll get access to any required pre-work. You will choose your financing method, you'll sign your enrollment paperwork, and then you'll start class successfully on day one. A couple of like frequently asked questions, like people always ask me, like, when should I apply? How do I know that I'm ready to apply? Or I feel like I'm not ready to apply. You do not need to know like how to code, how to hack, or work with data before submitting an application, but you should definitely know, number one, that you're ready for a career change. And you should also have an idea of approximately how much time you have each week to dedicate to a program. Be realistic when thinking about that so that we can help you choose the pace and the program that's going to be the best fit for you. Pro tip, if you're just starting out or you're brand new or you're on the fence between a couple of different disciplines, we have a ton of free intro lessons on our website under courses. They're pretty cool. They're like bite-sized information. There's intro to coding, data science, cyber, and there's actually a new product design course on there as well. Don't feel like you have to do them all and don't feel like it's mandatory, but if you're looking for some content to explore, check them out. It'll also look really good to us on your application when we see that you've tried one of our try experiences. So cool. So want to give you all a quick rundown of our financing options. We have a handful of different payment options and scholarship opportunities to help like make education accessible for our students. So the tuition for the program, regardless of your discipline, regardless of your pace, is $16,900 in total. Once you're admitted, you pay a deposit of $500 upfront. You can pay it with a credit card, a bank account, whatever you want to do. And then for the balance, there's a couple of different options. You can pay it up front if you'd like. Again, credit card, bank account, whatever, and the balance would be due before you start class. We also have an installment plan where you can pay in 12 equal interest-free installments monthly throughout the course of a year. So you're paying while you're in the program, but it all stacks up to be interest-free in the end, which is nice. And then we also work with 2 third-party lenders, Climb and Ascent, which offer loans to our students. And also, if you decide to take a live program, which is our full-time course, our lenders offer cost of living stipends up to $7,500 so that you have some additional money if you want it to help with your bills while you're in the full-time program because you won't be able to work. So just wanted to throw that out there. There's a ton of information on the Climb and the Ascent page. So if you have questions, even before you submit an application to our program or like commit to a course, you can go on there, get pre-approved, or just like there's like a loan calculator where you can see what your payments and approximate interest rates would be. And then also we have some scholarship opportunities actively posted on our website. Right now we have something called the Access Scholarship, aimed to help those in underrepresented communities in tech or those in need of financial assistance. We have a really cool Women Take Tech initiative, an Essential Worker Scholarship, and some others. You can find all of that information under diversity initiatives on our website. And if you're interested in a scholarship, Note that the application to apply for the scholarships is internal. So what you'll want to do is apply to the program first, schedule your admissions interview. And in that interview, let us know that you're interested in applying for a scholarship, and we'll be able to send over all of the relevant applications that you need. Okay, so we've talked a lot about like what happens before the program and during the program. And now I just want to touch on what's arguably the most important part. And that is what comes afterward, which is like your job search. So basically how it works is when you're about 80% of the way through the program, you've learned almost everything that you're going to learn in the course. And you're sort of transitioning into thinking about your job search and finalizing your portfolio. At that point, every student gets paired individually with a career coach. And our career coaches are professional career coaches who like own their own practice, and they contract with Flatiron School and take on a handful of students at a time. And so it's someone that's like meets with you one-on-one from that 80% mark until your first day at your first job. They help you with everything from a personal rebrand if you need one, depending on what your background was, help with your LinkedIn, your resume, your GitHub. You go through a series of mock interviews. You go through a series of mock technical interviews if that's relevant to your discipline. They help you negotiate salary, everything under the sun. So you're meeting with them constantly. And then we also have employer partners, which are companies big and small that maybe they hired a Flatiron School student in the past, they had a good experience, and when they're looking to grow their team, they reach out to us directly. So your job search is a job search. You know, it is a career transition. We don't want to sugarcoat that for our students, but we really like there's so many resources to help you. And your career coach is just like, I think that's the biggest selling point of the program, is just having someone who is meeting with you after every interview. Like, how did it go? What can we improve on? It makes all of the difference, especially because most of the people who take this program are career changers, you know, and it's one thing to like learn how to be a software engineer in 15 weeks or 10 months or whatever. And it's quite another thing to like sell that skill set to employers. So this is a huge part of the program. If you have other questions, feel free to pop them in the chat, or this is something you can definitely talk to your admissions rep about in your interview. Stepping off of my soapbox to talk a little bit about our jobs report. So this is our biggest jobs report yet, which features software engineering and data science among 7 of our campuses in the US. This report and all of our reports are third-party audited. They show the transparent outcome of our students. And so just some like quick facts. We're very proud to share that 86% of our students included in this report were able to find employment in our job reporting range. And actually 52% of the students in the report found work within 60 days of completing the program, which is awesome. And then our average starting salary is just under $75,000. We've also seen this number grow significantly over time for students that stay in their position and grow within their company. The average starting salary among women in this report is $72,280. So still a little like a ways to go there, but closing the gap every day. And then very exciting to share that our employment rate for among women in the report was 90%. So we just want everybody to know that like, there is a place for you, certainly here at Flatiron School and also within the tech industry. That is it. Wow. I think I really busted through those slides. Let's see what questions we have. Oh, it looks like there's a bunch. Let's see. Someone says, the New York City campus is 3 hours away from me. Would I be able to do like a virtual program? Yes. So that's a good point. Even though we are reopening some of our campuses, we will always have the full-time live program. And the live program is identical to the in-person program. Like the structure of your day is the same. Your class size is the same. It's about 25 students maximum, with a lead instructor assigned to you from start to finish, regardless of your discipline. And so don't feel like you have to attend in person. You certainly don't. The live program is definitely here to stay. And it's very different than like a traditional online course. All of our programs are. They're very interactive. Your lectures are live. There's people that you're reaching out to. Like it's a very collaborative experience. And it's full time. The live program is 9 to 6 Eastern time and Mountain time, and then 8 to 5 Central and Pacific time. So yeah, you can definitely take the virtual program. When do applications open up for summer of 2022 or like in the future? We have dates. I believe we have dates up until June right now. They're not on our website quite yet, but on the admissions team, we have them in our system. I would say typically you're going to want to submit an application at least 6 weeks before your desired start date. But you can apply now, even if you're not looking to start for the next, say, 3 or 4 months. You can submit an application, go through the admissions process, and then there's pre-work that's pretty involved. And so it's almost better, like the sooner you can apply, the better. But we do have some start dates. So if you're like shooting for June or something, just write into admissions and we can get you exact dates so you can plan accordingly. Generally for our programs, there's a start date almost every 3 weeks. So you can kind of look at the calendar and predict when a start date will be. How do projects with partners work with the Flex program? Like, how are they assigned? Very good question. So for our live program, like paired programming for our software engineering course is like a daily occurrence. There's some group projects that are mandatory. There's a lot more group work. With the Flex program, even though the projects are the same, they are not group projects. So all of your portfolio projects in Flex will be individual. That said, everybody who takes the Flex program like wants the interaction, they want the collaboration, they're just busy. And so it's very common, like if you have a cohort, so there's people in your class that are going to want to work on paired programming together. And so it's one of those things that you can schedule yourself, or you can reach out to your instructor and they can pair you up. It's very common, but just because everybody is on a different schedule, to give you the autonomy that you need, all of the projects are individual for the Flex course. And someone says, do you need a degree to enroll in one of our programs? You do not. You do need to be 18 or older, and you also need to have a high school diploma or GED, like equivalency. But you do not need a degree to take any of our programs. Nicole asks, how large are the classes in general? So for the full-time programs in person and our live online course, we cap at about 25 students. So there'll be no more than 25 in your program. And then for the Flex program, I believe the cohorts are slightly larger, like maybe 35 total. Slightly bigger group, but you're never really like all together in a Zoom room. So yeah. And then someone said, how does the live program handle students that fall behind? This is a good question. The live program is very fast. Like, this is a conversation that I have with students constantly, because I think that especially if you want to make this career change, a lot of students are like, the 15-week program is the fastest. I want to change my career. I need to do the 15-week program. And that's fine for a lot of people, but just know and be realistic with yourself that the course is like, it's 15 weeks. You have to learn the skill set in 15 weeks. It's been likened to taking a fire hose to the face. I didn't come up with that term, but I think that's something that people say to talk about the immersive program. And so it's a really fast-paced course. On top of that, there's homework. you're looking at like a 60-hour weekly commitment. Like you have to eat, sleep, and breathe this program to be successful. Of course, not everything is going to click immediately if you're in the program. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be in the live program. It just, I'm sort of going on a tangent here, but it's just so important to pick the pace that's the right fit for you. Because if you do fall behind in the live program, there are opportunities to, to take a code challenge again if you didn't, pass the first time, or take a little bit of time self-teaching and like make tweaks to your project and get feedback. Like all of that is normal. But if you fall too far behind, it would be like a withdrawal from the program and re-enroll into a part-time program situation, which is just not what you want. It's like a lot of paperwork, a lot of emails. You don't want to put yourself in that position. So our flex program is a really good option sometimes for students who, like, maybe you want to do the program full time and you might even have full-time availability. You could do the program full time with the flex course and just have a little bit of wiggle room that, like, if you need some more time to process the information, which is normal, you can take that time without feeling like you're going to fall behind. Because with the flex program, even though you choose your pace to start 20, 40, or 60 weeks, you can also change your pace throughout if you need to, which I think is really nice. So long rant to answer that question, but yeah, pick your pace wisely is my my biggest piece of advice. Someone said, can you explain a bit more about the software engineering track? For backend, will students only learn Ruby and Rails? And what would be the language of choice when we practice interview questions? Yeah, good question. So for the software engineering track, it's JavaScript and React for the front end. It's Ruby, Rails, and Sinatra for the back end. That's the only backend language that we're teaching in the program. That does not mean it's the only backend language you'll ever learn or that you should ever know. We teach Ruby because it is a pretty beginner-friendly, object-oriented programming language that, like, in 15 weeks or 10 months or whatever, depending on your pace, you're never going to know enough. Like in any of our disciplines, you will never know enough to say, like, I've learned everything that I need and I'm ready to, like, start my job. So we teach Ruby, and a lot of the things that we teach in the program are designed to, like, just teach you how to understand learning new languages in the future, if that makes sense. And so by learning Ruby, the logic applies really nicely to other object-oriented programming languages like Python or Java or like C#, and so, yeah, you'll learn Ruby, and then you'll likely learn a million other things during the program and also in your first job and sort of forevermore. But with the mock technical interview, I'm not exactly sure what language you practice. I believe it's something that you can customize. So if you're going for, some of our students go for back-end specific jobs or front-end specific jobs, and that's something that we can help you prep for. So it just depends on the role. I know, like, personally, we've had students who completed the program with no experience, learned just what was taught in the course, and then self-taught C# for a technical interview in like a matter of weeks. That's just like how the program works. Once you learn one thing, it applies so nicely to all of the others. Someone said, is the $500 deposit part of the full tuition? Yes, that's a great question. So you pay the $500 deposit that comes out of your tuition balance. That is what secures your seat in class, and it's also what unlocks pre-work. And then for the balance, you would be financing or paying upfront or whatever, the $16,400. And also, you are correct about, can you apply to more than one scholarship? You can apply to as many scholarships as you want, but students can only receive one scholarship. So the applications are very similar as well. I typically have my students apply, just submit the general application, we will put you into consideration for the scholarship awards you qualify for. And then if you're between a $3,000 scholarship and a $2,000 scholarship, you would be awarded the $3,000 scholarship, if that makes sense. And yeah, only one scholarship. It won't even cover half tuition. That is true. That is true. With the 12 to 15 week program, is it live instruction or is it recorded lectures like the Flex program? So with our live program, all of the lectures are live and they are all they're all mandatory. So you must attend. The lectures are recorded, like they're live, but they do record the sessions and they'll publish them in a lecture bank so that if you miss something or you want to go back and re-review, you'll have access to the recording, but you must attend live in the live program. Flex students have access to that same lecture bank. All of the lectures that they must watch are recorded, but if they want to, and if their schedule allows for it, they can tune in to the live lectures that live students are attending as well. Very confusing with the live and the live, but yeah, the live program is like truly live. Like your day is slotted for you from 9 to 6 or 8 to 5. You're in activities throughout the entire day. Is there an in-person flex option? There is not an in-person flex option. Our in-person cohorts are all full-time 9 to 6 Monday through Friday cohorts. However, flex students do have campus access. So if you're taking a part-time program, and live students have campus access as well, even if you're not enrolled in a full-time in-person cohort, if you're taking one of our courses and you live near a campus location, you can come to campus whenever you want. We have like a little sign-up sheet. You can rent a desk, you can attend events, super fun. Highly recommend if you live near one of our campus spaces, pop in and just like get to know the community. And then someone said, how do you graduate from the Flex program? You, when you start the course, you pick your pace, so 20, 40, or 60 weeks. And the pace that you choose sets your graduation date for you, essentially. Now that can change as you go through the program if you would like. Basically with Flex, every week you're served up like this to-do list that says, if you want to graduate in 40 weeks, these are the things that you need to do this week to stay on pace. Watch these lectures, work on this project, meet with this person, do this code challenge, XYZ, this is what you need to accomplish. Completing the list week after week keeps you on pace and you'll graduate, at that date that you've set. If you don't quite finish your list, you're slightly behind, but that's okay. You could make it up. And then if you finish your list and you go above and beyond, you're now ahead of pace. So it's sort of like the platform reorients based on the progress that you've made and then the progress that you need to make to complete the program. My scholarship says 3,000, but my admissions counselor said I received 2,000. I'll shoot an email to admissions@flatironschool.com and we can look into it. Sorry about that. All right, let's see. I think that's all the questions. Anybody else have anything else to ask? I don't know if anybody here is interested in the in-person cohort, but just on the topic, our New York City cohort is going to fill very, very quickly. We actually have a January 10th cohort that filled like months ago. And so we added the January 31st, which is going to be really exciting if you're in New York City and you want to attend the in-person cohort. It's going to be a full campus. But if you're interested, apply like yesterday. Same with Denver. We have the February 21st cohort. Definitely submit an application quickly if you're interested in one of those programs. And one last question, does the cybersecurity program have a flex course? Yes, it does. All 4 of our disciplines have a live option and also a flex option. So yeah. All right, I think that's it. Let's wrap it up. If I have thoroughly convinced you to apply to one of our programs, you can do so online, flatironschool.com/start. Or if you just have some questions, follow that link, go.oneshub.com/flatiron admissions to schedule a 10-minute chat with myself or someone on the admissions team. Super casual. Like if you're between disciplines, or you have questions about financing, or you're looking at a million programs and you just like need some help figuring out the differences, we are here for you. It's not like a salesy thing. Definitely schedule a call. We'd love to chat. And then also we have a ton of other really cool virtual and also in-person events. Flatironschool.com/events is where to find them. I think on December 10th, which is in just a couple of days, we have our virtual HTML CSS workshop. These events are poppin'. There's always like 200 people. It's an instructor-led workshop, super fun. If you're interested in the software engineering program, definitely attend. And then we have some, like I said, in-person open houses happening soon too. And this is our last info session of the year, which is insane. I cannot believe 2021 is coming to a close. So thank you all so much for attending. Like I said, this is being recorded. You'll get an email follow-up from me tomorrow. And if you have any questions, just respond to my follow-up and we're happy to chat. Otherwise, we will talk to you whenever you submit an application. I got to figure out how to end this webinar. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.